Well, I promised you real, so here goes. My doctor called me early this morning, which kind of gave me an indication that something had to be wrong because she had told me originally she was going to be talking to the different doctors and the different modalities to come up with a treatment plan for me that might work best. But she called me very early this morning. On the plus side, she stayed on the phone with me for a good 20 minutes the first time, and then I wound up calling her back because I really wanted her to talk to Rachel's father so I could get his input. She told me the results of the biopsy were in and that what I have is a sarcoma. She told me what I have is a high-grade spindle cell sarcoma, and now she was talking about the possibility of chemo and or radiation before surgery. So I asked a lot of questions because clearly I was not prepared for that. I really think I wanted so much to believe that it was something simple that they could take out and that would be the end of it. So one of the things that she told me was that I asked her what the purpose of the chemo or the radiation might be. I said, would it be to shrink the tumor and make the surgery easier? And she said no, she really didn't expect that it would shrink the tumor at all. With chemo certainly, and with the radiation probably not, and if it did, it would be very little. But the goal, she said, was because this type, and again, I'm extrapolating from what she told me, and I was in a state of shock. So take it a little bit with a grain of salt in terms of all the facts. I hope I have them right, but I could be a little bit wrong on some of them. But what she had told me was that the goal of it is, for first of all, that this type of sarcoma in 40% of cases comes back either in the same place again or someplace else in the future. And that if it does, that, well, clearly that would be a problem. So she said that the chemo would be to try to make sure that it does not show up in other locations. And there was a whole long story that went along with that. And if I have it right, it was that often other tumors, the small ones, don't grow when there is a large one in the body because it inhibits growth in the others, because it sends off a chemical that inhibits growth of the others, but that once it comes out, the others could be free to grow. Right back. I just got a call from an automated thing where they wanted to know if I wanted to stay in one of their hotels. What a great package they could give me. What stellar timing. Okay, I'd much rather go to a hotel. All right, so where I was, I think I was telling you that they don't want for this thing to take up residence in other places in the body and to present problems that way. She said typically the first place this goes is to the lungs, and my lungs are clear, so that's a good sign. There doesn't appear to be anything anyplace else in my body now, but that's right now. Also, because of the size of this and because of the fact that I'm having a lot of nerve pain in my leg, they are concerned that in the removal of this, that they might not be able to save the nerve on the left side of my, well, the nerve coming from the hip, because if it is impacted by this, they may not be able to save it. If they do not save it, it means that I will not be able to walk again without a brace. I don't even want to I don't want to contemplate that. So that's going to be one of the prayers that I'm going to ask you for, that is not the case, that in fact it will be very simple and less complex than they think. But that's just the start of it. Then one of the other things that she had told me was that the purpose of the radiation is to make sure that it doesn't come back in the same place. However, on the on the reverse side of that, by doing the radiation on it first, it could what was the word she used? It could have an impact on the surgery. That's not the word she used, but it might make it more difficult for the surgery afterwards. So I said, couldn't they take it out and then do radiation? And she said no, because that could then harm more healthy tissue. And clearly the goal is not to do that. Now with the chemo, she also told me there's not enough data yet to say whether or not the chemo actually works to inhibit the growth of it in other places. Apparently they have some indication that it is, but not enough data in to prove it. So I'm tending to think not chemo, certainly at this point, maybe after if necessary, but that's my thought. I mean, I have so much thinking to do and so much to find out after this. So once again, I'm going to ask you all to say a couple of prayers. One is that it turns out to be not as bad as they say. I was trying to get a prognosis in terms of, what they expect. But of course they don't know until it comes out because they don't know what stage it is. But hopefully if it's contained, that would be... The phone just keeps ringing. That call was thanking me for choosing the Marriott hotels. This must be my lucky day. Everybody wants to take me to a hotel someplace, except for the ones who want me in a hospital. Or not yet. In any case, just pray for the best possible outcome from this. I am doing that. And I'm hoping... I told her, yes, I have the nerve pain, and the nerve pain has been bad since the biopsy, but it's since the biopsy, and I felt that maybe something that happened during the biopsy impacted it. And she said, oh, if that's the case, it's possible that there was some bruising, and that might have an impact on it. So I'm hoping that it's that more than that being involved in the actual surgery, because I'm just wanting it out of there. It's the feeling that I have, but I have to trust the specialists, because Lord knows I am not one. And so far everything that I thought turns out to be not quite the way it is. So it's definitely one of my challenges. My goal is to rise up to it and handle it the best way I can and pray for the best outcome. But I have my moments. Now is one. I will not cry my makeup off. By golly, I put it on today no matter how I felt, because I said, I'm going to still be me. Okay. The other thing is that I have an appointment with another doctor, because at this point, I definitely want a second opinion. So I have an appointment with another surgeon who, this one speaks all over the world. He's called to speak because of his expertise in exactly what time. He's, I think it was the head of the surgery unit, or one of them, at St. Francis. And he has a lot of experience. And as I say, he's called to speak all over the world. So I have to believe that he's got really good knowledge. And one of the things I had read about him initially that really had an impact on me was that it said that he is able, I don't remember if it said sometimes or often, that he is able to perform surgery that other surgeons cannot do. So I'm hoping for the best possible answer to come to me. I must say, honestly, I really like the surgical oncologist I've been dealing with. Her name is Amy Crago, She's with Memorial Sloan Kettering, and she's been wonderful, and I told her that. And I said, I just need to have another opinion because I will not be comfortable if I don't do that. She also wants me to go and meet with both the radiation oncologist in the city, and that presents a problem because I have to get somebody to get me into the city because I can't get there on my own. And unfortunately, I can't afford to take car service. It would cost a fortune to do that. So I need to have that work out somehow. And they want me to go in on Friday. So I have to let them know by tomorrow if I can, in fact, get there. He would be, I believe, the radiation oncologist. And I do have the other appointment on Monday. So in between being a basket case and in between having my bouts of tears, I'm feeling that somehow it's all going to be okay. And it is something that I just need to get through because I need to really know what it feels like on this side of a seemingly terrible diagnosis. If things go well and I get past this, I'm sure that I can help somebody else out there. Even if they don't go well, I still will help somebody out there. I know that. So that's my story as of now. I'm going to go and I had to pick up a copy of the MRI again at the radiology office, Zoanga Pasiri, to bring to the doctor on Monday. He will also have access to all of the information from all of the tests that Dr. Crago's office had ordered. So he'll be armed with a lot of information when I go in on Monday, hopefully. And we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, I believe those prayers can work miracles. So I'm going to pray for one, and I know you're going to pray for one for me. So I'll be back. Now, I want to tell you ahead of time that I do have another video or two that I had already done. So when you see them, they were done before I got this news. So I don't want it to seem frivolous to you, but I also don't want to not put it up because I thought it was worthwhile to do. So I think it's worthwhile for you to see. On that note, have a great day. I'm always tempted to say Sheila's make it a great day. And by the way, Sheila, you've been unbelievable. Bella, incredible. And I feel much loved, and I feel as if I'm not in this alone. I'm still waiting to hear from Paul, Rachel's father, to get his input so I can let that play into all the other things that are kind of running around in my brain at the moment. That's just the other little bit of news. So I will talk to you soon. And once again, I'm determined to make the most of this experience, whatever the reason for it is. And there is one. There definitely is one. I love you all. Bye-bye.